You're never really ready.
I'm ready 24/7, man.
Are you really ever ready for anything?
Snap.
You
Ready for what?
Are you really ready ever ready for anything? Ready ever?
Oh, you put my one there.
Yeah, I put it right there. Is that good?
Yeah.
I figured you wanted to reach the spot.
I think I'm always ready for anything, bro.
Always ready for anything. Really? Like a fucking Boy Scout? That's like the Boy Scouts.
No, don't tell me that, bro.
I swear that's like their slogan.
I'm not
It's
associated with the Boy Scouts.
It's like always prepared or something like that.
I'm a grown man.
Don't quote me on that, man. Don't quote me on that.
I feel like especially when it comes to physical activities, like, even if it doesn't go good,
Shit.
I create like an unrealistic thing in my head saying that.
Let me run a couple miles real quick. Let me.
Yeah, exactly.
Do 500 jump rope. Let me.
Yeah,
I
bro.
guess 500 jump rope isn't that
Yeah,
crazy,
500 is.
Let me do some ridiculous feat off the top of my head.
I think
just cause.
Even after, like, you know, I do that and I do get a wake up call.
Yeah.
It's very short lived.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, for example, for boxing, the first time that I went boxing.
You've been doing that a lot recently.
Yeah, man. Cardio, best cardio that I've ever had.
Say, that's on your story like every day.
Yeah, and it just boosts my confidence, man.
Really?
You know, like, I was telling my friend Blaze, which is one of the like main boxers that I box with. The reason why I started boxing was because I was very like insecure when it came to my like fighting abilities.
Sure.
Because, you know, I've never tested the waters and I didn't know what it was or anything like that. But
well, I thought you were a wrestler growing up though.
Yeah, but
same kind of idea there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I never thought about that.
I was just saying. I mean, I feel like you have touched that human contact sport at some point.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess with wrestling, it doesn't really hurt. You know, like. Yeah, you know, you may get thrown to the ground or
you're
anything.
Not actually getting punched.
Yeah, it's you know, your body's hitting the ground, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
But, like, getting, like, socked in the face, it's a different kind of pain.
I mean, I imagine you can get pretty messed up wrestling, but,
oh, yeah.
I agree, like, someone coming at you with their mean right hook, like, you ever seen, of course this is an anomaly, but you ever seen, like, the videos of Mike Tyson hitting the bag, but, like, the recent ones... He's like older now, but he still hits it like a shotgun.
You know that the fight's tonight, right?
I didn't know it was tonight.
Yeah, man.
I knew people have been talking about it.
I was me and my friends were having plans to go to my friend Sykes' house to watch it, but it just fell through. Dang. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to like go on YouTube or something to watch it.
You're talking about it now, yeah. We'll watch it back.
Yeah, I think it's good though that they are they're not choosing a winner.
They're not choosing a winner. What do you mean?
They're not choosing a winner. Like, I believe he's...
Oh, there's no scoring?
Yeah. I believe he's going against Holyfield.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm going to feel fucking stupid if I get that wrong.
I couldn't tell you.
But regardless, they're just two of the greats, you know? And I say greats, but I don't even remember his name. But, yeah, I think that people... are going to have like horrible misconceptions with what they're actually going to see, you know? Like I feel like they're going to be expecting the, you know, 20-year-old Mike Tyson and his like veracity and all of that when, dude, they're like 50-something years old.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a badass fight. It's a fight of legends, but at the same time, that's why I said that it's very smart.
Yeah.
That they're not choosing a winner.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like it could like ruin their legacies.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
I guess we'll have to see, man.
Yeah, but you think people want like an outcome, you know? People want an answer.
Exactly.
Because the whole point of the fight is to ask like who's better right now.
You can't have an answer though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, in this case,
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's what people really want.
Exactly. People are going to be judging it themselves.
Oh yeah. I'm not proud to say the last fight that I watched was the YouTube boxing thing where it was like it was either Logan or Jake Paul against KSI.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
No,
and I watched all like like it was like a 4-hour event or something like that.
KSI won, right?
I feel like it was some bullshit. I feel like it came down to like a draw or something like that. And then so they were like, so we have to do another one. And everyone was like, oh, so you can make more money.
Yeah.
But something like that. I could be missing.
No, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting. I was like, it's crazy how much attention that really pulled. And it was just like, to me, it's so random because it's like, yeah, they're these like YouTube personalities with huge followings, but I guess I just never would have thought people would be like, yeah, we want to see him fight. You know,
I know, man.
It's very primal.
You know what's very funny though? Jake, Logan Paul?
Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul's the older one, right?
I think they're both in good shape, but I think Logan Paul's the one that's like swolled up.
Yeah, and the taller one, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so Logan and KSI, they're the ones that fought.
I believe so.
So Jake and I don't remember. It was
like brothers fighting brothers. Like the two white brothers fought the two black brothers.
Yeah,
like,
but so Jake and this other black guy, I don't remember his name. They're fighting tonight.
Are you serious?
At the Mike Tyson fight.
At the Mike Tyson
I feel
fight?
like that's disrespectful as shit, man. Like, how are you gonna put these legends next to
I don't know, man.
these sissy beefing YouTubers?
That's crazy to me.
I feel
Because
like
to me, well, I guess it just depends on how you look at it, man. Like, don't professional basketball players play in like the celebrity game sometimes? You know what I mean?
I don't
like
know.
just for
I
fun.
don't even
Like
know
they're
that
not
there
playing
were
for real.
celebrity games.
Well, and maybe that's not the same example, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Like Dancing with the Stars or some shit.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like maybe it's supposed to be more like that. Like, you know, it's serious to them, but like you don't look at it like you would look at like this high quality professional fight. You look at it more like you would look at something along those, like a Dancing with the Stars type thing. I could be wrong. I don't mean any like disrespect or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, Mike Tyson is like the most recognized name in boxing. You know?
I know,
and then
man,
this guy who's had like a YouTube title card fight. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Those are two very different, like.
It does. And Jake, like his whole thing, which, you know, I do hope that he proves me wrong, because I feel like an asshole, you know, judging this dude just because he's, you know, a YouTuber or whatever. But
he's doing something right?
Yeah, he's saying that he wants to do this fight to just prove that he's, you know, not, you know, that, you know, just a fucking YouTuber.
Yeah,
like, he wants to remove that title.
He wants to be more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. I mean, that's something.
Yeah, man, exactly. So
interesting.
You got the Monday emails?
Somewhere.
I don't remember if I read it, bro.
I don't know. I was plugging so many of them into the website today that I'm just like.
Oh, so you've been on.
I've been reading Monday emails all day. I say so many. I think I did like 10 of them, but.
What up, Core? You chilling like a villain?
She is, man. She's hanging out. All right. Oh, this was a half decent one. This is called Your Biggest Opportunity for Growth. So we've all been guilty at one point or another of strictly playing to our strengths, consistently picking the exercises that we're good at, the food choices we're used to, and the cardio regimen that doesn't take any thought. The definition of insanity is to literally do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Yeah. If that definition is true, I can confidently say I know many people who are insane. Humans are creatures of habits. We like things that we know we can do. We don't like our comfort zones pushed. I have a few, like, handful of people in mind specifically when I write that, and I don't mean any, like, disrespect or anything. I'm not gonna, but there's quite a few people who have gone to all of the gyms that I've trained at.
Mm-hmm.
And prosper, because, you know, it's kind of a smaller gym circle and like one gym closes or whatever, you know what I mean? So I've watched people for literally like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years now.
Damn.
And like, there's some people who I'm serious, look exactly the same or just older because they're doing the same exact thing every time, and they don't ever look any different. And part of that, the crazy thing to me is it's like, okay, yeah, they're not getting any fatter, I guess, but like,
but what's the
they're
point?
They're also definitely not getting any better, or at least not noticeably. Like, you know, I see them every day.
Like, what are you even working toward?
For years,
you know?
yeah. One of the coolest things about pursuing a stronger, healthier, leaner body is that in order to accomplish those 3 things, you have to be willing to travel outside of that comfort zone. You have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. To me, a great way to streamline this process and develop the discipline required to stay out of that comfort zone for a long enough period of time to see change is to seek out your weakest link. That was a fucking run-on sentence if I ever wrote one.
Fuck it, dude. I feel like it had to be one, you know?
Find the weakest part of your chain, where it would snap if pulled too hard, acknowledge it, reinforce it, refine it, refuse to be blind to it. For some individuals, this could be as simple as doing the exercise they hate the most, more often with an acknowledgement of picking an actual beneficial, efficient exercise. Hate push-ups, suck at them, great, do more of them.
Yes.
That's the only way to get better at them. The principle of specificity is an integral part of any goal-driven program. This could take extra thinking or pre-planning. Hell, sometimes I literally put into my phone calendar meal prep or practice handstands. Like I'll go block in time in my calendar to do those things. If it's something I know I might skip out on with some sort of self-accountability. Take this article as a challenge to pursue something today in which you suck at. Do it with intensity, take the humbling factor with grace, and strengthen your weakest link.
Yes, sir.
What is your weakest link?
In what area of my life?
What's the first thing that comes to mind? Because I know there's one. Everybody's got one.
I guess it used to be confidence.
Really?
Like very recently, it used to be confidence. Or is that what it? Let me think for a second.
Yeah. What do you mean when you say confidence?
Let me think out loud. How about that?
Sure.
So, gosh, this is. I have like, it's such a big idea in my mind.
Yeah, it is.
That I don't know how to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just. All right, I'm gonna ride the confidence train. So, I feel like when I was, unless I'm working toward a very specific goal, I have extremely low confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like extremely low confidence.
Okay.
But
if you're just kind of floating.
yeah, exactly. But the problem with that is when I have those goals that'll boost my confidence, it's only in one area of my life. So like when I was a powerlifter, dude, my confidence level as a powerlifter was like through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I was invincible, and I was invincible, man. But in every other part of my life, my confidence was literally at the bottom. And I don't know if that's because I was focusing specifically on that, because that was like the easiest thing for me. So it's almost, I ignored that weakest link. Right. You know, I ignored it. I pretended that it didn't exist, and that charade went on for a long time. But
as in just like anything that wasn't within like your
comfort zone.
Yeah.
Within powerlifting, because powerlifting was my comfort
anything
zone.
that was not powerlifting, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Social relationships, school, whatever, jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I went through a point like when I was at school where I literally told myself, I convinced myself, and this was after paying like $20,000 to go to that school. I convinced myself that school was like complete bullshit. Like I don't need to be doing anything. I don't care if I got a 40, because I had a 40 in like I had a 40 in astronomy class. Astronomy, dude.
Yeah.
That dude looked like a pedophile, by the way.
Who, your professor?
Yeah, my professor. He did, bro. And a
People
bunch of
other.
other.
Look up.
Huh?
People are gonna go look up your university professor now.
They don't even. Maybe.
Yeah. Keep going.
Shit. But because you said that. No. But I was just failing a lot. But that's just like one example of me ignoring reality and supporting that weakest link. You know, just making it weaker. But as of lately, getting out of my comfort zone and stopping powerlifting, it allowed me to work on those weakest links. Yeah. So my career path, my social life, dude, my social life is fantastic now.
Really?
Like I find myself recently like just walking up to people, you know, that I want to talk to, just walking up to them, starting a conversation, and I have zero anxiety.
Like you feel like better equipped to deal with social situations.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've been working on getting my dopamine levels like up here. Obviously naturally. But yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Naturally.
But just getting my dopamine levels, and part of that was the sleep. Part of that was just getting into those social.
You're just trying to live your best life.
Yeah, exactly, and that right there just really reinforced that weakest link and made it stronger and stronger and stronger. To right now, I feel like anything that I set my mind to, like I can knock that shit out of the park.
So you feel like
those ideas were like all over the place.
I was gonna say, so you feel like by addressing your weaker points or your weaker links, like you became more. You became
so much more.
Yeah,
bro.
you feel like you're more complete.
Yeah, man.
So you think like, I think that's a big reason powerlifting was like your identity too. You know, like you weren't really Chris like the person who, you know, I frequently say all the time like how many things you do,
Mm-hmm.
but before it was like you just were a powerlifter, and it was like you didn't even really know anything about you. It was just like you're a powerlifter.
Yeah, exactly.
It was your name, it was your brand, it was on your Instagram bio. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's which like I did the same thing.
Yeah. So what's your do you want to talk about your current weakest link or like the weakest link that you think you've had in the past?
Well, my current weakest link is, it's funny how, I don't know, my mind goes to this, but it's like scapular stability and like long range.
That's so awesome, man.
That's literally
this guy.
My ability to stabilize overhead. But I don't know, man. I mean, like I'm such a, I don't mean this in like a bad or negative way, but like I'm just such an incomplete person who has so much improving to do in every aspect of my life, and like as soon as I think I have something figured out, like the world just finds a way to be like, you don't know anything, dude.
Yeah.
Which like I'm not saying is a bad thing. Like it's frequently learning opportunities, but like I really don't. I really think I have a lot of areas to progress in. I would say.
Does that like, you know, knowing that you need to do all of that, does that discourage you or encourage you?
It encourages me, I think, because I'm not all that I could be, and I know it. Yeah. And that's like. That's a Jordan Peterson line right there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, you're not all that you could be, and you know it.
Uh-huh.
And that's like the thing that, I don't want to say sucks about that, but like really holds you accountable about that is it's like, it's always true.
Yeah, always.
You know, you're never truly your best. Like there's always ways to be better, and it's not like, you know, I've made the mistake in the past of like solely focusing on that and like making that my one individual goal to like always try to be better. Mm-hmm. Which, like, you know, you still do to some extent, but there's been times where...
Like in general? Just always be better in general?
Yeah, and like, I guess it's, you gotta find a way to quantify that, right? But it's more like, you know, you could always...
What's up, Corey?
Be more courteous, pay more attention, put more effort forward, like there's, you know what I mean? However you justify that, however you quantify that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've literally like gotten to points of depression just being like, man, I can never... I have to consistently like keep setting the bar higher, and that consistently lets me down because I just can't live up to it sometimes. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like it's motivating and it's exciting because it's like, yeah, okay, but I could do better, you know. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. So anyways, to short answer that, or to circle that back, is probably, I think I could be more focused. I think I could be a little bit more targeted.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like,
I guess looking in from the outside, mm-hmm. I would say that like your biggest attribute is that you are focused.
Yeah. I guess it's just one of those things where, you know, you'll never...
He's licking my cocoa butter.
She's just straight up licking your lotion.
Cocoa butter lotion.
I
don't blame her.
I think it's just one of those things, man, where it's like, I'll never truthfully be like, satisfied with the point it's at, you know, uh-huh. Which is probably just a weird neuroticism of mine, but I don't know. I think as far as like character, oh man, I have a tendency to be very matter of fact and kind of an asshole.
What does that mean? Like,
just
like just straight to the point, no beating around the bush.
Yeah.
When talking to people.
Yeah, I think so. Which, like, I don't think is necessarily always a bad thing, but, like, sometimes I'm a little too direct.
Like, when, like, calling people on their bullshit, or, like, do you literally tell them how it is without thinking about, like, their feelings and how they're going to react, without taking that into consideration?
I definitely think about feelings and how they're going to react, but I think what's a good way to put it? I think I play to it too much.
What do you mean?
So, let me back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that
Think out loud.
I don't got it, man. So, I think what happens is that I get a little bit too set in my ways of what things are and how I perceive them and whether I want to talk about them or not, or whether I want to go into them or not, that I'm just like, I'm looking to state a fact in a way that ends the conversation.
Really?
I think I do that a lot, yeah.
Are you able to like give an example? I know that that's
yeah, I don't think any specific one comes to mind immediately, but I'm just very
because you don't like enjoy the conversation.
Well, I can no.
Or you're just like, all right, so this is A and B. We want to get to C, so here it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
No BS.
And I definitely like. I feel like I take feelings into account, but it doesn't always happen that way.
I feel like that's good though. I mean, at least in my case, unless it's like very clearly stated that it is just gonna be, a back and forth conversation like a dance, then it better be, A, B equals C.
Yeah.
Like this right here, this is a dance, us doing this podcast.
It's a very, it's served me in a lot of ways just in like getting the things I need, whether like asking for a raise or asking a girl out or something like that. Like it's definitely always helped me there, but I think it's hurt me in times that I seem a little too serious to a lot of people, which I would consider myself serious, but not in a way that means I don't enjoy things, Yeah,
like that's just your personality.
Yeah, I'm not trying to dick around all the time,
This is really weird. Like I don't remember if we said it on the last podcast that we're like yin and yang. Because I'm the exact opposite when it comes to like the types of conversations that I have with people. Like I struggle with being straightforward, A, B equals C. I struggle with that. And all I do is dance when I sit there and talk with people.
What do you mean?
Like,
you don't really get there?
Not only that, but I like to just like learn about people, and maybe instead of like A and B, my bad, I keep on going up to this, but it's the best way I can think about it. Maybe instead of doing like A plus B equals C, maybe I want to know, the D, E, F, the things that
what
don't really, that don't really, need to be in this conversation, but that, I'm very like, I want to know or I'm interested in.
Sure.
And I don't know, I feel like that helps people open up to me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't help me get what I want a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Which you've seen that.
Yeah.
Like, I do shit, all the time for free. Not as of lately.
Yeah.
I promised myself I won't ever do that again like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I don't even see it as people taking like an advantage,
Yeah.
But I think that that's a really good characteristic that you have.
What?
The fact that you go from A, B to C.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just funny to me,
Yeah.
that you see that as a weakness.
Yeah.
And you see the other one as a strength. But then I see it the exact opposite.
Yeah, well, I think the reason it comes to mind is maybe I've just been a little like self-conscious about it recently, but like people definitely perceive me as like a stern dude, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And I think it could just be partially because like I'm a personal trainer, right? So like if one of my clients like fucks up their diet or something, like they're like kind of nervous to tell me because I think I'm gonna wave my finger and chew them out, which like sometimes I do, but I think people just think I'm like that like in normal life, and just because it's part of my the meathead wake up at 5 a.m. thing is kind of part of my personality too.
Oh,
so
okay.
that comes very kind of like judging and holier than thou, which I do my very best not to be.
I see you as like structured and very disciplined, but very in touch with yourself and very interested in other people's stories.
Yeah.
Like you actually care about other people's individuality and what they're about, their beliefs, their values and stuff like that. Like when I first met you, usually, especially at that time, people didn't fucking, just come up to me and just go, "Hey man, what's up?"
Yeah.
And just talk. Like, no, that didn't happen. It's, sometimes it was like, "Hey, I saw you bench."
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like super authentic, super warming, like heartwarming, and it opened it opened this door to this friendship,
Sure.
So I don't know if that had anything to do with what we were just saying, but
I don't know, man, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm super interested in people, man. I'm a super introvert at the end of the day, but like I get a real kick out of like people and their stories and the way they react to things, and yeah, that's partially why I picked my job, right? Is because it's nothing but one-on-one interaction with people.
It's about that other
and
person.
figuring them out and like what drives them, what pushes them, what they're scared of, what what deep down their reasoning is why they want what they want.
That's the most interesting part about people.
Mm-hmm.
The very deep down, what they're like telling to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unique when it comes to each person.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful, man.
Well, what's really cool is like for some people it's just like, lose or gain a couple pounds and like learn some stuff along the way. And some people it's like it's a life altering process, which I don't take any credit for. I think I just sort of like nudge and facilitate a little bit.
Yeah.
But
well, you're a fucking coach, so
yeah. But
even though it is like 50% or whatever percent, because of you,
sure,
you're not gonna claim that.
I don't know, man. Well, because I don't drive the car.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I just give them that. So, but there's nothing like magical or special about the part I'm doing.
Yeah.
To
Definitely.
me, the special part is like, hey, this motherfucker was getting up early, was doing their meal prep, was committing themselves,
they
was
were being
finding
accountable.
they were doing their part.
Mm.
So they were doing their part when they were used to not.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
getting
a
paid
really
to
good
do my
change.
part.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
different. It's different.
True.
Yeah.
But
So-
you also enjoy,
Yeah, of course, and it's important to me, and I've been through it myself, so I understand it and I get it. But yeah, so I don't know. Anyways, I definitely find people super interesting in their just their intricacies, man.
Gotcha. So what's your biggest strength?
My biggest
Shoulders,
strength.
no. Legs.
Definitely not my shoulders. Yeah,
Definitely legs.
Probably my quads.
Yeah.
But gosh, man, my biggest strength. I handle pressure pretty well.
You do?
Yeah. I'm not afraid to say if it's like too much or if I'm creating unnecessary pressure, I'm not afraid to pull it back. But like under real pressure, I think I survive pretty well and pretty logistical and unemotional in decision making usually.
Uh-huh.
So it's easy for me to put things together like that, and to figure out ways out of situations, and it's served me a lot for sure. Because part of being a small business owner and like not necessarily knowing what your next step is or how you're gonna get your next bill paid kind of thing. Like there's a certain problem solving and urgency aspect to it, like I'm not gonna get paid, you know what I mean? Like when both the gym shutdowns happened, it was like, all right, what's my next pivot? Like, and I gotta move fast. When Pack closed, man, I got a text at 6:26 in the morning that Pack was closed, and I was running Facebook ads for in-home and online coaching by 7 a.m. So like, you have to be ready to pull the trigger and to move and just, So of course that's a drastic example, but it's definitely that part of my personality has served me in my my business life for sure.
Would you say that was like the example of demonstrating your strength? Being
I'm pretty resilient. I handle things like that relatively well, and I'm sure there's much worse adversities out there that I haven't even gotten close to fathoming or imagining, and I'm sure I never will. But as far as like being able to what's the phrase? The old Bear Grylls meme, like improvise, adapt, overcome.
Oh my God! Yes.
People meme that. Like, I do that pretty well.
That's funny, man.
Besides that, I don't know, man. So, what about you? What is your biggest strength? What do you play to?
Fuck, man. Oh, you know what it is? On the way here. No, it's on my phone.
What do you got?
Hold on, where's my phone?
I don't know. It's in your car.
No, it shouldn't be.
Seen it.
Oh no.
Did it fall in the chair?
Did it?
I don't know.
Let's see if I can remember.
What are you trying to show me?
It was a quote so I was listening to David Goggins' podcast, Can't Hurt Me, in the car, and he was talking about taking souls. Mm-hmm. So there's a long story behind it, but whatever. The quote was, I want to put myself up with the best of the best and separate myself from the pack.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to my strengths, that is literally my strength. Like whatever I commit to do, I want to put myself up with the best of the best and literally like separate myself, you know?
Yeah.
Separate myself mentally, you know, obviously this mostly pertains to like physicality. I'm working on the other parts of my life, but mostly with physicality. If I decide to do anything physically, I'm gonna put myself up against the best of the best, and I'm gonna do it. You know,
Sure.
you know, I'm gonna separate myself from them.
Sure.
And I think that that's what's happening. So that happened obviously with powerlifting. I think that that's what's happening with boxing right now.
What do you mean?
I seriously find myself like obsessing with boxing now.
Yeah.
Like every time that I go work out weightlifting, like I can't leave unless I do like at least 30 minutes to an hour of
boxing.
Boxing.
So this kind of like, this sort of full circles this whole thing, man, but it's almost like you're just getting addicted to working on that weakest link because you see the strides you make when you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which like...
Not only that, but victory, man.
What do you mean?
That's what I want. Not victory. Goggins, see, maybe that's why I think he motivates me so much.
Sure.
Because I relate to him. Like, I feel like his story is very close to my story. But he was saying that he does all of, you know, everything that he does for victory. And not victory against other people, just like victory in general.
Yeah.
You know?
To win.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I like mostly desire, man.
Yeah.
So, and I want victory in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm starting to like, you know, think out of the box, and I'm finally realizing, you know, my abilities as a 22-year-old and what I could achieve.
Yeah.
And what everything has to offer. Like,
Yeah, you're just getting started, man.
yeah, man, I'm just getting started. So,
It's pretty cool.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like every day it's sort of like, man, here's a whole new slew of opportunities. Like, pick your door.
A whole new slew.
Any door, pick it, man. Go through it, see what's there,
Mm-hmm.
entertain it.
And having that mentality, like, one, it gives you hope.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a lot of hope to, like, whatever. Two, it makes you want to strive for more. And then three, like, the possibilities are literally just endless.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a crazy thing. And it's like you could go fuck off and do nothing for 3 years, man, and you're still 25. Like,
that's crazy, right?
You know what I mean? It's odd to think about, you know. So there's all these opportunities, and you know, even if you are, you know, older, you don't have quite as much time. Like,
Who gives a fuck?
there's still time, man. There's still it's never too late for anything, you know. I have two clients that come to mind, man. One is turning 60 and one is 62, and they're by a long shot, the most in shape they've ever been.
Yeah.
By a long shot, you know. The guy who is
That's
60,
amazing.
The guy who's 62, he just did his first body weight set of 5 pull-ups the other day, man.
That's
Crazy.
hella impressive,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I was going over his notes the other day. This dude's doing reps of 10 on his dips now.
Dang.
Yeah.
62?
He's 62, yeah. I really hope I'm not misquoting. I believe he's 62.
Still.
But yeah, man, he's been killing it. And so it's just like, it's not too late, man. He lost, I forget. We started at 227 together. He's like $185 or $184 now.
Mm-hmm.
So dude's killing it. And then I got another one, and she's turning 60, and we just hit like our year training mark, and she lost about 60 pounds, and she just deadlifted 215 for 5 sets of 5.
She's wanting to deadlift 315, right?
Yeah, she wanted to deadlift 300, but I wanted to deadlift 315 because it's 3 plates.
3 plates.
But but anyways, it's like, man, it's not too late. Like, you can do it. Maybe not to the extent you want to do it to, but that's fine. You can still do it, you know?
Yeah. It all depends on literally if you have that hope.
Just start working on the weakest link.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Full circle, baby.
That's it, dude. That's it.
I mean, the possibilities are literally it. I was actually thinking, which, you know, it is just a thought, but I've always had this thought of, like, just going up north into the wilderness and just chilling, bro. Like, taking photos. That would be dope to be a photographer for a period of time. And I'm actually thinking about doing that this summer.
Really?
Yeah, like it's been in my mind like a lot because with the bus job, I don't work like all of summer
2 or 3
and
months,
I still
yeah.
get paid.
Yeah.
And you know, hopefully I'll have the web stuff, which I'm actually publishing tomorrow.
The
My
website we talked about last time,
Yeah.
2 times ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
exactly.
man. That's awesome.
Finally, oh my god! But I wanna just leave and just go do me for like 3 months. Either like up there, probably not up there because you gotta do like the passport and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I'll probably just drive around the United States, man.
Good for you, dude.
Go to like Oregon.
Good for
I
you,
really
man.
want to
That'd
go
be
to
awesome.
Oregon, man.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to Oregon once.
You have?
I've been to Bend, Oregon. Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was one of the coolest weeks of my life, for sure.
Really?
For sure, yeah.
Was it on the coast?
No, Bend is like in Central Oregon, actually.
Mm.
But the weather is like perfect. So in like 4 or 5 days, we rode 4-wheelers, we hiked a butte, we went kayaking, we floated a river, like.
In 4 to 5 days?
Yeah, we went whitewater rafting, dude. It was
That
awesome.
how was that, bro? Whitewater rafting?
It wasn't as hardcore as people make it out to be.
Oh, really?
I forget what the scale is, but the one we did was like relatively high on the scale. And I didn't think it was that nuts. Maybe it was like the time of year we went or something, and I
Yeah.
even got in the water a little bit, and it was like.
In the rapids?
It was summer, yeah. It was.
Wait, you were in the water?
No, in like the calm parts.
Oh my! I was about to say,
no,
man.
in like the calm parts. No, definitely not. The guys who were doing it were like super cool, like the guides or whatever.
Mhm.
But anyways, man, yeah, Oregon's a cool place. I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, Brianna and I went to Arkansas the other weekend. When you stay with the dogs, that's a cool one too. You could try there. I mean, the Talamina Scenic Bypass. It's all mountains and trees, and it's gorgeous, man.
I don't even know where that is. The last time that I went like traveling, I guess, I think it was in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
What's next to Nebraska? Not Nebraska. What's next to Missouri? Like
Oh, God,
to
man.
the right of Missouri?
I have no clue off the top of my head.
Crap. I think it's
How
Arkansas.
embarrassing.
But I know, right? Fuck high school. But
To the right of Missouri.
you know Michael Flores. Me, I don't know why every time I bring him up I go, you know him, right?
You know that
You
guy.
know you remember him, right?
Yeah.
But me and him went camping over there. Dude, did you run into horseflies?
Horseflies, no. Was there a lot
You
of
never
horseflies?
ran into horseflies? Have you ever in your life?
Maybe once or twice, but no, I wasn't like swarmed by them. Were y'all like swarmed by them?
There was this one horsefly, bro.
Okay.
It was one.
Sure.
Every time that I went there, same horsefly, I swear to God. When we were driving that last day, after that horsefly was like harassing us
Yeah.
for the last like 30 minutes of going to like the water area, we got out of the car on the 15-minute drive back to the campsite. That motherfucker was still there. He drove, I swear, he drove with us.
That's
They're
crazy.
only around water, I
Really?
believe so. But he drove with us, dude.
That's crazy.
And as soon as I get out, it sounds like a helicopter.
That's crazy.
And they're like
Horsefly.
that
I was
big,
gonna say, they're
dude.
pretty thick boys, yeah.
Yeah, and they would like bite us on the shoulder and
Ooh.
stuff. But
I don't like that.
have you ever been to Jefferson State Park?
No, where's that at?
So that's where we went. And if y'all ever want a thrill, going to like a camp, not a campsite, but like to a water area, you know, where you can just play in the water. What is it called? A water area. Fuck it. They have probably like 30 mini waterfalls that you can go down.
Really?
Alex.
How
We-
high are they?
So
Do you like tube down?
it's like 10 feet high. And no, you
you
walk.
just jump.
And then it'll take you down there. So I was like 330 pounds at the time.
What the
Michael was like, I think 280
Yeah.
or something like that. So as soon as we get there,
Yeah.
he goes like this. So the waterfall is like, like him right, you know, just going down the middle.
Yeah.
And he has his hands on the rock. And as soon as he steps in that waterfall, I look away for 1 minute, like 1 second, dude. Whew,
And he's gone.
he's gone, dude.
That's hilarious.
And there's a mom and her daughter
Yeah.
that was like looking at me like this, like,
Oh my god.
and I looked over the thing. His freaking, I think his like trunks fell off, but regardless, it was seriously like this skinny, and the water was probably like that high.
Yeah.
Powerful, man.
Damn.
So powerful. Like as soon as you get in it, boom, you drop down, and then it seriously just like throws you down.
It's crazy, man. Makes you respect it a little bit.
And it's very narrow, so like there's big ass rocks, you know, all through. So you hit rocks on the way down.
Yikes.
But it's so fun. There's a bunch of little kids there.
Wow.
But
that's crazy, man.
I don't know, man.
I'm surprised people don't get fucked up on there.
I know, dude. So guess what?
What?
I have. He's
What do you
the.
got?
I'm not gonna say his name, but he's one of the. I don't think he's a teenager anymore, but he was one of the strongest teens that ever lived. I don't want to say specifically like his title in it because people would be like, "Oh, that's blah blah blah," but he actually just came to me 2 days ago, and wrote this message saying that he wants to get out of powerlifting.
Really?
And that he's done. He hates it. It's ruining his life.
That's crazy, man.
And it pretty much had the exact same insight that I did. And he's actually asking me to mentor him.
Really?
I don't know what to do, man.
Can you help him?
I want to help him, but...
I don't know, man. If I would I would just tell him your honest experience with quitting. Tell him how your life has changed. Tell him to watch this, man. You've been talking about how many things you've been able to do better and how much happier you've been. I mean, he was he like a super heavyweight?
Yeah, he's actually cut down quite a bit, like 200. I think he's like around 270 right now.
I don't think there's many things that are worth throwing your health away for, man. I really don't.
But when you're like zoned in,
sure,
you don't know it, man.
Sure, yeah. When it's like you're like a rabid dog, man. You're in this zone.
Mm-hmm.
There's no logic there, man. She's sleepy, girl. There's no like logic there though. You know what I mean? You're too zoned into it.
It's only passion, man.
Yeah, and once you break out of that, but that's step one, right? Is talking about it, wanting to get out of it,
realizing it.
Yeah, we're talking about it like it's a drug or a bad thing, man. But like, again, when it consumes your health like that, I don't think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So it destroys your body, man.
It does.
I mean, I shouldn't say destroys, depending on who you are, sure, but like.
I will say, like, from all those years of powerlifting, like, I don't have bad knees. I guess the only thing out of all my powerlifting that I've done is when I do tricep extensions on this arm now, just
feel it pop.
Like something pops out of the socket.
Oof.
Yeah, and I can't even like really do one arm tricep extensions anymore. But I guess I wanted to get your feedback on like how I would structure talking to him.
Oh God, I don't know, man. I mean.
No. So I was gonna say, what I would say, and then you can give some feedback.
Sure.
Because I have a very drastic mindset, when it comes to these changes.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't last.
Yeah.
So, what I was thinking about telling him was, don't think about it as strictly like a mental journey. A physical journey. Because it's deeper than, just trying to lose weight, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you're basically trying to refine yourself, rediscover yourself through all the pain and whatever that you experienced in the past, just from powerlifting. Because he sounds damaged.
Yeah.
He sounds like damaged goods. And he was actually telling me that he hit rock bottom. And, I was telling him the only way to go is up now.
Yeah.
Once you hit rock bottom, you only got one way to go, or you just stay there. But what I was thinking about telling him was, start off with your morning and night walks, listening to like audiobooks, listening to personal development books, maybe stuff that can motivate him. But
you're just trying to encourage him to start thinking a little bit more about taking care of himself.
That's what I found was the most important part.
Yep.
When it came to changing was the introspection.
Yeah.
That's what will keep the lasting.
Yeah.
When you're doing these drastic changes.
Yeah.
That's what will keep the lasting, motivation.
He's got this. He's got to figure out. He's like, how did I end up where I am now, and what sort of changes do I need to make to get out of that?
Mm-hmm.
To get to the place I want to be. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree. It's much more than just a physical journey, especially when you're talking about losing 100 pounds or quitting the sport that he sacrificed his health to, because it's like, I don't know, man. It's like it's a lot more than just changing the things you eat and moving a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even though that might be it on a piece of paper, it's like that comes with the entire restructure of your lifestyle to fit that frequently, forever, theoretically.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. It's just like, hey man, you gotta get some more structure into your life. Like, hey man, you gotta stop bullshitting yourself here. Like, hey man, you gotta stop cutting corners, kind of thing.
Yeah, you gotta have that.
Not to say he does any of those things, but I'm just saying, like, that's usually like.
Yeah, but I'm sure that you have to be doing those things to get to the point where you would say that you are at rock bottom, even if on the outside it looks like you're doing amazing. Because I'll tell you this right now, before he told me that, like, I thought this dude was riding I don't know,
sky high.
Yeah, riding sky high, dude. Like, one of the crap, I can't really say shit, but just an amazing, like, seriously, an amazing athlete. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he was also telling me, which makes it even more, a little bit more complicated, was, so I think he's like 20 or 21 years old right now, that he wants to get off of testosterone.
Yeah.
So that young, man. And he's been on it for a while, and I don't know, like, the implications of that, Sure. Because the one thing that I heard was, after, doing a couple cycles of tests, like, you're shit out of luck,
Well, at that point, I think you definitely want to send him to a doc, but...
yeah.
Because I can't speak on any of that, but, yeah, I would definitely send him to a doc for that, man. Because I'm not really sure if that's something you can really cold turkey or wean yourself off or what. I've never really heard good stories about that. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a lot more than just a few changes here or there. It's gonna be a huge overhaul. It's gonna be tough. It's not easy. There's gonna be hiccups. There's gonna be ups. There's gonna be downs. But it's all worth it in the end.
Do you like the it's torturous. Do you like the torture when you're making these changes?
I enjoy the pain a little bit, yeah.
Is it like some masochism? Like, not even strictly physical, but the mental pain. Like,
to me it's just this weird perception twisting of, like, knowing whatever the thing is gonna make you better. And that's really how, and I don't have as good of a hold on this as I used to, but that was really how I had nailed the getting out of bed early, frequently, on time. Mm-hmm. The whatever, like the 5 a.m. to the 4:30s or whatever. It was just because, like, in my head I was like, man, no matter how much this sucks or I don't want to, like, I get to become a better human because I'm being more disciplined. I'm giving myself more time to get things accomplished, or doing the things I need to be doing. And whether that's true or not, is a whole different story. But, like, the twisting of it in your head is, it's like it's not so much that I love the pain, it's like I love the byproduct of the pain or the uncomfort, And I think that's what got me through. I would say it's a little bit different in, like, bodybuilder perspectives, because in, like, actual, like, workouts that are painful and you're diving into, it's more like I want to see what I can tolerate and what I'm capable of. Mm-hmm. But I kind of, like, talk myself into loving it that way. Like, part of the way I fell in love with training legs, and I still love training legs more than anything, is like, well, it's just because I like talk myself into how much I love them. Like, squatting used to feel super uncomfortable for me, and, like, I'm still not really made to squat. I have really long femurs, but like I learned to do it relatively well, and well enough that I got a kick out of it, and I literally just talk about how much I loved it, and it made me love it. So
that's like saying that, like, if I was to say, like, I'm a boxer, then I'm gonna hold myself up to it. You're gonna make sure that you're actually hitting those points in order to achieve your vision of yourself. So maybe I was just about to say his name. Maybe in his case, what he can think about, is maybe envision, his future self, and use that as like a meter, like a gauge that he can, make a decision every day. Like, did I work toward this vision of myself, or did I not?
Yeah, that's. I love that you said each day, because that's how I break down everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
To me, everything
I learned that from you, man.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why I have this weird thing about me where everything I break down to the most micro scale and the most macro scale. Like, whenever
Only in one day?
Dude, no, it's just the way I think about things. So, like, for example, like, when I was, like, setting big financial goals and, like, maybe I, was able to up my rates in my PT, and so then the way I think of it in my head is like, okay, if I do this per hour, I'm making this per week, I'm making this per month, I'm making this per year after this. And so, like, it was just like, that's kind of the way it worked in my head, and that's just the way I break down everything. So, like, in any sort of body transformation, it's like, dude, I could really give a fuck less about how much we have to lose. I care about how much we're gonna lose this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, because we're gonna get there. I don't know win sometimes, but like, we'll set up the plan and we'll get there. You just look for progress in that direction, and sometimes even, I'm not sure pace is that relevant, as long as you're moving the right way.
Yeah, sometimes pace will get in the way.
I agree, man. Sometimes pace is more harm than it's worth. Sometimes someone will make huge leaps in a week for whatever reason, and then maybe make not quite that much in the following weeks, and it's almost like the bump in confidence wasn't worth the shits later on, you know what I mean? Just because, I don't know, it's all a standard thing. It's like, oh, I lost 4 pounds this week, like now I want to lose 5 next week, or I'm not as satisfied. So
it's unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, but to circle back and to stay on topic a little bit, like, yeah, man, it's just about winning the day. Like, hit your macros, man. Do your walking.
Simple stuff.
Do your meditation, do your breathing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just check your list, get through it, and some days it might be you're just going through the motions, but going through the motions beats not doing it.
Jocko Willink.
Yeah, that's
exactly. What is it?
Nailed it.
If I feel like going through the motions, I go through the motions.
Dude, I was watching someone like spoof or parody him or something, and maybe he actually said this, I don't know, and someone was like, people always say, Jocko, why do you sit in a dark room? And he was like, because I don't want the enemy to see me.
I could see him saying
and they're like,
that.
Jocko, why don't you smile with your... And they're like, Jocko, why don't you smile? Because I don't want the enemy to see my teeth. Everything is so, like, vigorous.
Intense.
Man, and I think I have this way of, like, absorbing things a little bit and maybe, like, portraying them and just, like, making them part of me. And, man, the first self-help book I ever read was Discipline Equals Freedom.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So,
you had me read that. That's a good book.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, just...
That was
my...
shit.
Yeah, and that was a huge part of my life. I don't know how old I was, maybe 17 or 18. I don't know if I got into self-help before or after I graduated high school, but somewhere around there, man. And yeah, that was huge, because it hits you like a truck, because there's so much truth to it. There's so much truth to going through the motions is better than not doing it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
there's so much truth to that.
It's
intensity.
It's extremely overwhelming if you're looking at it, macro scale. I think that was really cool what you said when you were talking about your financial goals. Like, whenever you would set it, you would specify it for a day, a week, a month, a year, and then however long. But the big part that I took from that is you didn't just say, this is how much that I want to make in a year.
Yeah.
You break it down to the month, to the week, and especially to the day.
Yeah, it's like playing a fucking video game, man. It's just checkpoints. It's like, okay, I'm at this checkpoint. How do I measure if I'm at the next checkpoint? And those steps, just eventually you're there, whatever there means to you. Yeah,
because you don't
snag something.
I snagged the net.
Nailed it.
You don't see much progress when you're looking at that year scale.
No.
You don't, and that is super discouraging.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at it, even if it's just one thing that you're doing in a day that'll bring you closer to that goal.
Yeah.
That's clearly measurable.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing that you can act upon and achieve.
Yeah.
Realistic, time-based, simple.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? SMART goals? Simple.
Oh, I don't know that off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's like simple, acquirable. No, my bad. I know. Simple, measurable, acquirable. Some R1, and then I don't fucking know.
Well, yeah, the real and acquirable thing I think is a big one because it's like, you know Andy Frisella, talk about self-help, MFCEO podcast.
No.
Okay, I'll tell you about that. But that was a big step in my whole self-help thing. But anyways, I totally forgot where I was going. What we were just talking about.
I was talking about the SMART goals, and you were saying that.
Oh, real acquirable, yeah. So it was just like, it's about, man, having ways to measure the point you're getting to, and like he said something along the lines of, I'm probably gonna butcher this. I'm just all over the place right now, but it's like people overestimate what they can do in 2 weeks, but underestimate what they can do in 2 years.
Yeah, did you message me that a couple days ago?
Probably, I'm sure I've said it to you at some point. Like that's a big one to me because it's like there's a whole lot of truth to that, man. And the thing is it's like you almost can't even measure your progress microly because that'll discourage you. So like it's not that you measure the progress; it's that you measure if you're doing the things that get you the progress. So you're essentially trusting the process.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Because if I'm fucking measuring my arms every day or I'm taking physique updates every day, like fuck am I gonna notice, man?
Yeah.
But if I'm adding 2 reps to my dumbbell bench press with the same technique every week, you know what I mean? My chest is getting bigger. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And so it's like. It's one of those things where you set, no matter how micro, like if it's progression in the right direction, it's progression. And man, it's like a ton of my like beginner programs and like, very newbie clients, like it's all about just doing another rep next week, man. It's all about like making technique better and doing another rep next week. Like it doesn't need to be 10 more reps, just another rep or like a couple more pounds, like just something small, just to that. So we're moving in the right direction. So we're getting a new stimulus. So we're doing something to emit change.
Yeah, and then that alone increases the confidence. And then when it does reach that year mark, you just added 12 reps onto, something that maybe you did 8 reps for in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
that's a huge improvement. And then if we're talking weight wise, like George Lehman. When I was watching him, he was talking about like putting 5 pounds on the bar, every week, and then in a month that's 20 pounds. I mean, there are plateaus, obviously, but the point is.
Well, even to break it down, man, if you do 5 pounds a month on your bench, 60, 120, 180, in 3 years, I'm benching 180 pounds more than what I was benching before. That's not bad.
Especially if you keep on riding that train.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. Maybe 1 month you do 10 more pounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of truth to that.
So circling back, I was just about to say his name again. What should I call him? I'm gonna call him Big Bub.
Big Bub.
All right, just so I don't say his name.
Big Bub.
Circling back to Big Bub, the way that he could implement this in his life is write down maybe a couple. Would you think that write down like maybe a couple important, or even just one important task that he could do in a day, make sure that he achieves it before he goes to sleep, and then once he gets confident with doing, one a day,
build on it.
Yeah, just build on it.
Yeah.
Something very simple.
Yeah, it could be as simple as, man, like, say you want to walk 10 minutes every day. Okay.
That's exactly how I started.
Do that for a week and then you're good. Okay, it's like, okay, so now we're going to start tracking calories every day. You don't even have to set a calorie goal. Just start tracking them. Be conscious of what you're eating and do that every day. Then you set a goal for the calories. It's like, okay, do that every day. Then you set a goal for your protein. Okay, do that every day. And then you set a new goal for your cardio or a new training goal. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about baby steps, man. It's just stepping. That's it.
Yeah, that's so crazy because you saying that, I just realized that when I did lose my weight, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Like when I started off, I could, because I was like 350, I was testosteroned up on D-ball. Yeah. Like it hurt to walk. Yeah. So I would walk like only 10 minutes.
That's all you can do.
I would walk down the block, which was like 6 houses down, and then I would walk back. Calves would be cramping, lower back tight as heck. Yeah, my abs were sore. I felt my rib. You know what I'm talking about? That rib from cardio? Yeah. But next thing you know, like a month later, I'm taking hour walks. Next thing you know, a couple weeks later, I'm on the elliptical. I was only doing on the elliptical. I would start off, and I could barely do it 10 minutes on the elliptical.
Yeah.
I would have to listen to David Goggins or Jocko Willink.
Something like
in order to motivate me.
Yeah.
Those were like the longest 10 minutes of my life.
Kicking your ass, yeah.
Yeah, but then a couple weeks after that, dude, I was in my room with the elliptical with the gas, or one of my breathing masks on, breathing mask, 2 pairs of shirts with a sweatshirt, jogging pants, and biking for an hour, watching YouTube. Yeah. So think about what you can do in the here and now, something that's realistic and something that you can actually stay accountable to, and that's not too stressful.
Yeah.
And then just build upon it, Yeah.
And
if you're doing it right, you'll actually want to build upon it, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's one of those things, man, where it's like, first of all, set a goal that's easy to fit in your lifestyle. Because if you're someone who's working 90 hours a week and you're like, yeah, I want to lift once a day, like, motherfucker, you're working 90 hours a week and you think you can find 7 hours to lift?
Yeah.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Like, be honest with yourself, and like, it's okay. You don't have to do that much. Like, that's the biggest thing, because then all that happens is they don't fulfill that, and then they're like, well, if I can't do that, what's the point of, why would I do it at all? Like, 'cause you don't have to do that much, man. Like, whatever little you're doing is better than what you weren't. So I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents there. Like, I think that's really it. Like, set the goal, set it small, and then progress, do more.
Yeah. Don't set unrealistic BS. And then another thing, listen to your body, listen to your mind.
Sure.
Like, don't ignore the fact, like, if it actually is too hard, like, whatever habit you're doing or whatever deadline that you have set or goal or anything like that, if it's too hard and you want to ignore that it's too hard and that it is unrealistic just because of your pride or whatever it is, like, you gotta sit down and have that conversation with yourself. Like you said, emotions, pride, all of that aside, and actually ask yourself, is this a goal that I can achieve and that I'm actually willing to achieve?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause if
100%.
not, what are you doing?
100%.
All you're gonna do is just fuck your confidence level up. And
you gotta, people don't really seem to understand the importance of that confidence, man, because it's like, oh man, do you know the cube method?
Brandon Lilly?
Yeah, Brandon Lilly.
Yes, dude.
So I
crazy.
was never deep into powerlifting or anything, but I just remember vaguely reading something that, like, and I might be totally misquoting this, I really hope I'm not, but something like, he never attempted a lift that he didn't 100% know he could do. Yeah. Which, like, there's different ways you can look at that, because it's like, oh man, you're not striving hard enough, and it's like, yeah, maybe, or he just wants to feel like whatever he can do with 100% uncertainty, which is almost this, like, bulletproof mindset, So it's like my client who I told you wants to deadlift for 300, I was like, I want to see her do 315 first, I want to see her do 300 twice before we go to competition. Yeah. Yeah. Just because it's like, that's the goal, and we want to be sure that we can fulfill that.
We want to build that confidence.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think there's definitely, like, different ways of thinking of it, because I think you could make the argument of, like, oh, you're shooting too small or whatever, or you're aiming too small, which like is true in some things, I'm sure, but that confidence piece it's huge, man. It's what keeps the wheels running, keeps the dopamine up, it keeps everything keeps everything in line and centered, It's just picking the right battles. Yeah.
And you're saying that, or some people may say, that you are setting the bar too low, like you were just saying. But if you think about it, if you do set the bar low and you achieve those, boom, a little bit higher, achieve it, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Once the bar is set up here, I got this shit.
You've been playing to that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You've been building up.
It became your norm, yeah.
Exactly.
You don't need to go 0 to 100 in a day. You can go 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way up. You doesn't need to be this huge, unrealistic leap because that just sets you up for failure, man. That's that's instant gratification, man.
Yeah, that's impulse and
every day, you know, because it's like
thinking that you can just cheat the system.
I don't want to take steps, you know, A through Y. I want to take the step all the way to Z.
Yeah.
I want to go all the way to the fucking end.
And as powerlifters, I think that instant gratification is like one of the, unless you're a lot of the long stay powerlifters, obviously they've gotten past the instant gratification. But I think people like me and Big Bo, we lived around instant gratification when it came to powerlifting, because we were invincible, and you know, the next thing to do, we would do it, and we would go for it specifically for the fact that we can, and it's the easiest thing to get our dopamine levels up, and it's the easiest thing to just, you know, make us feel good.
Yeah.
Even though that it's, you know, not the best for us. But okay, so we went over setting habits, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We went over just being accountable and setting realistic goals.
Right.
We went over confidence. We don't really need to go over diet, because I'll go over that with him. Anything else that you're thinking?
I think you nailed the important stuff, man. I think the mentality and the psychology to it are probably the biggest players, because that's kind of the underlying factor that no one really thinks about, you know? Like if you don't, and that's stuff as simple as, you know, if you don't think you can, how can you?
Mm-hmm. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed, man.
Well, so I have this question. You read a bunch.
I try to.
Yeah. Or do you read a bunch?
I try to.
You do, right?
I try to. I do my best to, yeah.
Okay, so how do you sit there and grab information and like utilize it in your life? Because, you know, if he's listening to this, if he's actually listening to this, how would he actually grab this information and like utilize it? Because we don't want it to go in one ear and out the other. Is there any like techniques that you use to because obviously maybe the first 2 days, like, he'll remember what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But how do you implement these, because they're values and beliefs, how do you implement that in your life?
I just immediately start thinking like, okay, what's the quickest way that I can apply this?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, when we were talking about setting those habits earlier, like, you know, we were talking about each of us started with a 10-minute walk. Like, ideally he's either thinking like, okay, I'll do the 10-minute walk, or he's got something better. He's like, okay, I'll do YouTube yoga for 10 minutes a day, or I'll do, you know what I mean? Like, ideally he's got something that he's like, okay, here's my thing.
Yeah.
You know, so to me it's like you come up with that and then you just sort of, you follow. So, and that's with anything. It's like, you know, if you're sitting there telling him to keep a journal, it's like, well, do the step and take the fucking journal, you know? So I think it's
just doing
it. That's the big thing, man, is it's doing it. It's not just talking about it or saying you're gonna do it. It's like, it's so easy to sit there and be like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but like there's a difference between wanting to do it and doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll become more natural over time, and it'll become a smoother thing. But it's just you have to actually take the steps. You can't just talk about taking the steps.
I'm learning, doing these podcasts, I'm learning that I've picked up so much from you. Like, seriously, like all these ideals that I started taking on, I didn't realize that I was getting them from you, but now that we're talking about, like, instead of just, you know, romanticizing with these ideas, you're saying to execute them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't just play around with them like they're pointless. And I didn't recently, you know, realize that I was doing that until I actually started, you know, talking to you on a daily basis.
Sure.
And I guess now I'm just realizing that all of these changes that I'm making in my life are seriously, most of them, like 75% of them, are from these conversations with you.
That's funny, man. Yeah. Well, I hope I'm able to influence in some way. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, man. Is it's like people love to just think of things as like ideas and fabrications in space, but it's like an idea is really a call to action. You know, and if you don't take that action, there's no underlying, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, man, he can ask
that
you.
Timeline doesn't
exist.
exist.
So it's like he can ask you to mentor him, but at the end of the day, like, all you are is mentor, right? You're not driving the boat. And that's sort of like the client
being a coach.
Yeah, the client coach relationship, right? It's like, hey man, this is your boat. I'm just telling you how to, like, I'm telling you where to go.
So here's the tools.
I'm trying to show you how to drive. Yeah, but like, you know, if you want to drive this sucker fucking into a bridge, like, you can.
Yeah, here's the map though.
Yeah,
I got GPS on for you.
I'm trying to help you out. Yeah, but so it's just one of those things where it's like he's got to be the one to apply it. You can tell him everything all day, but if he doesn't apply it, he doesn't apply it. And something that I've kind of picked up along the way too is you can't take credit for that, whether he applies it or doesn't. You know.
Yeah.
So the big thing is
that's the big part that
doesn't.
The
big thing, yeah, all of my clients, a lot of my clients like to give me a lot more credit than I truthfully deserve, I think, and a lot of people, you know, external people do, and it's like, maybe, man, depending on how you think about it, but it's like at the same time, like if they were failing, I'm not taking fucking credit for that either.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if
that's
they're
on you.
Now if they're, you know, truthfully doing the things I say 100% to the T,
and then they get hurt,
then of course
like
that's on me. Yeah, that's a different story. But you know, 9 times out of 10,
extreme ownership.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Someone with normal hormones and a general population, like it's a pretty straightforward process. You know, so it's like, if you're shit in the bed, I'm not taking blame. And I'm 100% honest with that. With people, especially my online ones, man. My online ones, I'm like, hey, you don't even have to see my face, man. So just know that you're on you as far as the
you gotta stay accountable.
Yeah. It doesn't mean I won't check in on you, but you know.
So I guess this all can be kind of summarized with just being accountable and like self-introspection.
Doing your end of the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So to close off Big Bo's, you know, little segment here, I'm gonna list off a couple books if he's doing, you know, either Audible or actually reading the books. I like Audible just because it's very convenient. You know, I can do activities while doing it.
Sure.
Although you got to be careful with that because you don't want to be doing activities that actually take mind power and then you're not listening. Yeah. And it's just background noise.
Oh yeah. I'm guilty of that, man.
Yeah. So
I'm guilty of that.
One thing that one thing that helped me with that is in the beginning listening to that, I would actually have to repeat those words in my mind as they go.
That's a big reason why I do read is because you know, when I'm podcasting, it's one thing if I'm just driving or something, but sometimes it's just background noise. And I try to save like the fun ones for background noise, but you never know.
Turns into white noise. But some of the books that I recommend reading, one, Atomic Habits.
Yeah, it's sitting right there.
Oh yeah? Wait, yeah. So I think Atomic Habits is a great book for the fundamentals of life.
Sure.
The reason why I say that is because just like, you know, the whole basis of that book is habits pretty much make up your future.
Sure.
So once you get a like understanding of human nature when it comes to habits and you can kind of break it down and get those fundamentals and then utilize it for yourself, that's going to provide like a huge backbone.
Sure.
And like foundation for you to build upon if you use like the knowledge and whatever that it's providing in there.
Yeah.
The second book is, I guess maybe it may be biased, but David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. And also because you're losing, you know, all this weight, I'm assuming that you want to get like really, really, you know, lose a lot of weight because that's what it sounded like when he was talking to me. Yeah. So maybe you can relate to his story. He talks about, you know, him being a power lifter and you know, him losing control of his life. And thankfully, you know, this dude's only like 20 or 21 years old, you know, like me. So you're early in your life. You know, David did this at like 30, 40 years old. And look at him, you know, he was a Navy SEAL, marathon. He just ran 200 miles like 2 days ago or yesterday. Christ, if you look at his Instagram story, but his story is more just like motivation, inspiration, and he has challenges after each chapter in his book that I think would be good to follow along with if you're actually going to commit to doing them. And the third book, George Peterson, 12 Rules of Life. Jordan Peterson. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep on calling him George.
That's a great one, though.
That's a extremely great book.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have your own like values and beliefs, or if you just want to get insight on his values and beliefs.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good book.
Yeah.
And very insightful. But that's also one of the books that you have to be engaged with, literally every single word.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that he talks and just the verbiage and all of that. It's very intricate.
Oh yeah.
So you can get lost really quick if you're not listening.
You just have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Take your time.
And I guess one other book is Presence. Just being present in the moment.
Yeah.
So Amy Cuddy.
I've never heard that.
Really good book, man. I actually lost my copy, or else I would have given it to you. But yeah, those are all books that I hold very close to me,
sure.
And that I feel like have actually, I don't know if it's cliche, to read, self-improvement or whatever the fuck, but I feel like those have seriously changed, my life.
Yeah.
So what about you?
You had some really good ones there.
Yeah, I stole all.
Yeah, you got quite a few of them. I think, like I said earlier, I think Discipline Equals Freedom is a huge one.
Yeah.
Just because that one is kind of like, okay, this, the end picture of that one is like, hey, this is on my shoulders. It's on me whether this ship sails or it doesn't.
You got the power and decision.
Yeah, which man, even though that's scary, that's so empowering, man.
Yeah.
Just to know that, like, hey, this, whether this succeeds or fails, it's because of me.
Yeah.
At least in your own journey. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a really good one. Just as far as like maximizing the things you're doing, and trying to get the most out of them, and just generally being efficient, I think. But yeah, man, I think if you look at a lot of the higher name ones, Your Erroneous Zones by Wayne Dyer is a really big one.
Say that again?
Your Erroneous Zones, which is it's a funny title.
Yeah, that's a cool title.
Yeah. But which is a really good one because it's just about all the fucking bullshit you're telling yourself and all the self-defeating behaviors you have. And I keep one excerpt printed out and squirted out, which is about, funny enough, that one specifically is about when people complain about being tired, but and just about how that doesn't do anything for anyone and all you're doing is putting bullshit into the air. But anyways, just to circle back, I would say Your Erroneous Zones is definitely a big recommendation for me too. But yeah, man, there's tons out there. There's tons out there, and there's no shortage of lists either of good ones, So
yeah, I wish you luck in your journey. Hopefully I can get a hold of you, in the coming days. We were supposed to talk today, but he never messaged me back. So, I'm gonna send him this link.
There you go.
Yeah, if we have it, hopefully I'll have it done by tomorrow.
Maybe we got him pointed in the right direction. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and hey, we got a post for a thumbnail.
A thumbnail? How do you do that?
I don't know. Did you see that picture that I posted with Kevin? In front of the snowman?
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
So I was, after looking at my bad cord.
That was funny. We could just get Corey to post up in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, you're wrapping it up?
Yeah,
Cool.
I feel like, so this is what we covered in the podcast: weaknesses, strengths, and then pretty much my friend Big Bo.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, and how he can...
and that can apply for a lot of people. Yeah, everybody.
How he can strengthen his weak links and hopefully become a better version of himself.
Yeah.
Empowering.
So, we're still, this is only episode 4. We're still working out the kinks and learning how to podcast and learning how to...
Kind of winging it.
Yeah, have dialogue. And, we came in here today literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like, with no idea what we're doing. After we're done with this, we're actually going to, if you're cool with it, talk about what the goal of this podcast is going to be. Because I want it to be, a
little more targeted.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed.
Yeah, you actually told me.
Yeah.
Hey, but I guess we never really addressed it.
Yeah. We gotta focus, man.
But it's time to address it. But plug your stuff.
All right, my social media is at Alex Chris Martin on Instagram. My Facebook, I believe, is Alex Chris Martin Fitness. My website is alexchrismartin.com. There you can find out about working with me and online coaching and or see all my Monday emails, which you can also sign up for on my website, which is a free weekly article about any health-related topic. That being said,
Very useful too.
that's everything. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you can find my like fitness or workout Instagram at Toro Strong or Toro _strong.
It's underscore.
It's underscore?
Oh yeah, it's underscore.
And the other one I said Toro Strong. Not the one that I did last night.
I'm pretty sure it's underscore.
Alright. And then my other one where this podcast and everything else is gonna be put is Cholito Saldana. YouTube, Cholito Saldana, obviously you're watching it on this. And website. By the time this is published, I should have the website done, but it's going to be cholitosaldana.com.
Boom.
Yeah, so all of our links are going to be in the bio.
Boom.
So, yeah.
Good.
Episode 4.
It's a wrap.
Done so.
Done.
Deuces.
Good.
We're like,